Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Welcome to the Non-fictional Prose course. Today we are going to have a very brief, short, simple lesson because I don't want to condense a lot of information for you. I want to just to have some deep breath before we continue having more strategies. We studied now various different strategies, and I hope you started to get familiar with them. And today we are not going to have a new strategy. We are just going to practice some skinning and scanning strategies and inferencing the meaning of words from context before we move on to chapter 5. Just to recap, we studied different strategies: idioms, metaphors, compound nouns, using charts, reading charts, skimming, scanning, referencing words from context, not stopping or reading every single word. We started to use our dictionaries to check some words' meanings. Also, we studied something like using continuums, agreeing and disagreeing. And today we are going to finish up chapter 4, starting page 90. We have the passage titled "Here Come the Tourists." So let's go to page 90 in our book to start this lesson. The title of the passage is "Here Come the Tourists," and we know the meaning of tourists. If you don't know the meaning, people who go to visit other countries, other places for fun, for enjoyment, for excitement. Those people are called tourists. The whole thing of traveling and visiting these places are called, or is called, tourism. So you see the difference between tourist, I-S-T, is the person who goes to visit. Tourism, ending with I-S-M, is the whole thing of traveling and visiting places. So changing the suffix ist or ism makes a difference in the meaning. Well, I presume, or I suppose that you have read the passage, and after reading the passage we have here the skimming for the point of view. If you didn't read the passage, I guess you don't know the answer for question number 1. Those who have read the passage presumably know the answer. But if you did not read it, let's practice skimming the main idea or the point of view of the writer. Here, the question asks for the main idea, whether tourism has a good effect on the places visited, or has a bad effect on the places visited, or tourism has both good and bad effects on the places visited. So we go to the passage, page 93. We skim the we don't need to read every single line, every single word. We just, for example, read the first sentence. Give me the t-shirt. The woman said to the tourist. So give me the t-shirt. The small village in the Amazon was almost filled with beggars. You know the meaning of beggars, people who begs for money. We see them in the streets near the traffic lights, for example. It was hard to believe that the community began its ecotourism project in 1992. And then we go, for example, tourists are eager for adventure, or at least the perfect photo opportunity. So this is it good or bad? We read in the beginning here something which implies bad effects. But here, adventure, taking photos, good things. Let's read here, for example, why tourists believe they can contribute to destination communities. Locals do not always agree. So we have here disagreement between the tourists and the people who live in that place. Tourists believe something, but the locals or the people who live in that place do not agree. So disagreement means having bad effects. So just from reading 3 lines, I picked them up. Don't think that I prepared this before. No, I just picked 3 lines from my head, out of my head, and now I think I can reach the answer for question number 1. Tourism has both good and bad effects on the places visited. Some people would say it's all about having bad effects on people, because all the examples in the passage about bad effects. No. If you go to a place and you take photos, and then you take these photos back to your home country, you use them in postcards, all of these can be good effects on the places visited. Yes, it's mainly about bad effects, but it also has some good effects. Well, here, analyzing the point of view, what do you think of this point of view? Do you agree that when you go as a tourist to another place, that you will affect that place badly or in a good way? Yes. Sometimes tourists affect places badly or negatively, and sometimes you have good effects. Is it similar to your own attitude toward tourism? Is this similar? Well, it depends on your point of view. Does the photo on page 93 illustrate the point of view of the selection? It is page 93. Does it illustrate the point of view? Well, I see some people here with a tourist. He looks busy. The people are smiling. Well, I'll leave it to you to decide. Well, to me, it does not explain. There are some problems with the questions in the textbook, but anyway, we have to do them. And now let's go to number 3. The usual thing that we used to do before getting meaning of words from context. We have number 1. It was hard to believe that the community began its ecotourism project in 1992 in order to protect natural resources. So we have the question here: what does ecotourism mean? Is it 1 or is it A, B, C, D? We have the word tourism and you have the word eco. Some people would think that eco is from economy, and we know economy means trying to have less money, less resources. So tourism that does not cost much would seem a good answer for some people. But no, Eco here has nothing to do with economy. Eco here has to deal with ecology. Ecology is something related to nature, to natural resources. So ecotourism means going to visit places which have natural resources, which have some pleasing nature. So A is not correct. B, tourism for the very rich. No, tourism that does not harm the environment. Tourism that uses the environment for adventure. So it is D. We have number 2, the repeated requests. Annoyed tourists. Annoyed. What does annoy mean? If you annoy someone, for example, if you keep nagging on somebody, if someone is busy doing something, but you keep nagging, you keep upsetting him, you try to patronizing him, you try to make noises, this all is called annoyance, or making somebody annoyed. So annoyed means to make someone angry. If you annoy someone, you make him angry. Then we have the word locals. Locals, I think is a very easy word. People from nearby, people who live in the same place are called locals. We have the word up front, and from the word we can guess their meaning. Up and front. If you are up front, does it mean you are tall? No. You are smart? You are funny? No. So you are direct. If you are up front, means you are direct. Number 4, we have the word indigenous. The word indigenous means native, from the relating to the locals. So indigenous means native. Then we have the word here, number 5, distinguish. You distinguish, well, you have something very similar and you want to distinguish between them. So you would say, for example, this is different by blah 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 blah, and this is different by blah blah blah. So distinguishing is making differences between two things. We have the word here, frontiers. Frontiers, we know that the frontiers are the places between two countries. So we have, for example, Saudi Arabia and Qatar, and in the middle, we have the frontiers. But in the passage, frontier has a different meaning, which is places where only adventurous tourists go. We have also the word subculture. We know the meaning of culture, but subculture means a group of people with similar customs and similar traditions. It's called subculture. Have also the word here, stinginess. Stinginess. Stingy means very little. People who are not generous, who tend not to spend a lot of money, are called stingy. So stinginess is related to that meaning. So it is custom of not spending or giving money. related to the word stinginess is the word bargaining. Well, if you go to buy something, let's say you're going to buy a mobile phone or a laptop from a store, and the laptop is for 3,000 riyals, and you go to the seller and say, what's the last price for this one? Well, he would say the last price is 2,900. You would say, would you accept 2,500? He would say, no, I wouldn't accept that price. And you would try, would you accept 2,700 riyal? He would say, no, I would not accept that, until you reach an agreement of the price. So this is called bargaining, and I think here in Saudi Arabia we like bargaining a lot. Before we buy something, we try to bargain. Bargaining is trying to make the price of something lower. You try to lower the price of something. So we now understood some of the difficult words. If you want to read the passage now for fun, for information, you can go and read it. We have here a very fun exercise. We want to distinguish between fact and opinion. A fact is a fact. We cannot change it. An opinion is developed by you, by your thinking, by your point of view. For example, if you say the wall behind me is colored brown or beige, well, this is a fact. The book cover is blue. This is a fact. But if you say, well, I think this course is difficult, this is an opinion. So there is a difference between a fact and an opinion. A fact is a fact. We cannot change it. An opinion is developed from you, from your thinking, from your trying to synthesize different information about something to get out, to come up with an opinion. So let's read some of these sentences just to see the difference between a fact and an opinion. So number one, the community began its ecotourism project in 1992. Is it a fact? Yes, it is a fact. Because it's a fact, we cannot change it. Something happened in the past, so it is a fact. The villagers lost interest in the land. Well, is it a fact? Yes, it's a fact. The entire tourist experience revolves around money and purchases. Well, is it a fact? Well, is it just an opinion from the writer? Well, I think it's an opinion. He thinks that all tourism is about money, making money, purchases. Well, I think it's not all about tourism, because from tourism we can have fun, we can have relaxation. Sometimes people go for tourism and also for medical treatment, for seeking some cures or medicine. Some people go for study and for tourism. So it's not only about money and purchases. So this is an opinion. Number 3 is opinion. Number 4, few real friendships are formed between tourists and locals. Few real friendships? Well, this is an opinion, because you can generate as many friendships as you can. Number 5, if the tourist becomes upset, the local usually pays the price. Well, is it a fact or is it an opinion? Yes, it's true. If the tourist gets angry, he might harm the places he is in. But it's not necessarily true. Maybe tourists get angry, but they do not harm the people near them. So I would say 5 is an opinion. Indigenous people in the Andes demand compensation for having their photographs taken. Yes, this is very true. Some people, when you want to take photos for them or you want to take photos with them, they ask for money. They say, if you want to take photo for us, give us money. Why? Because they think you are going to use these photos for business or for fun, and they do not get anything, so they ask for money. So this is true. I won't go on because this is just to show you the difference between a fact and an opinion. The last exercise for today is scanning for vocabulary. You read the sentence and there is the first letter of the correct word. You can find these in the passage. A two-word phrase meaning things that a country has and can use to its benefit, such as coal and petroleum. So you see, sometimes you can you can answer without going to the passage, and this is not the point from the exercise. The point from the exercise is that you use your scanning skills to answer from the passage, not from your head. But if the item or the question is very easy, you can answer from your head. I can answer from my head without going and scanning the passage. This is a problem with this exercise, that you can answer from your head without going back to the passage. Here I can answer the word natural resources. Natural resources. So you see, I can answer the exercise from my head, not from going to the passage. I advise you to use your scanning skills. If you did not find the answer, I'm sure you will find the answer. For example, let's see number 2. It says here something means number 2, something means delighted, pleased, as if by magic. Go to the passage, look for words starting with E. Look for adjectives only starting with E. And if you find them, check your dictionary and see whether the word means delighted or not. If it means delighted, well, this is the right answer. If it does not mean delighted, it's not the correct answer, and look for another word. I mean, I can answer them, but I want you to use your scanning. The purpose of this exercise is to help you practice the scanning technique, the scanning strategy. As I said, try to look in the passage for words starting with these letters, and then check your dictionary for the correct answer, whether this word really means the meaning here in the sentence. Or so, for example, here we have an adjective starting with the prefix n and meaning not correct for the occasion, starting with in. So look for words starting with in the passage and see whether this word means this meaning. If it means, well, it is the correct answer. If it does not mean, well, it's not the correct answer, and look for another word. As I said, I can answer this word, this exercise very easily, and sometimes you can answer from your head, but the purpose of this exercise is to help you go to the passage and try to scan for words for the right meaning. So this is just to give you a little practice. By this we end the chapter 4, and hopefully we will start chapter 5 next week, inshallah. I hope you enjoyed this little lesson, very brief, very concise, and I wish you all the best. Thank you very much.